I created G-plans out of nutrition frustration. One day during nutrition studies at Duke University, we came across a revelation. We discovered that everyone has a completely unique metabolic structure and type. Eating a generic diet program will not get you the results you want, and you will continue on a path of yo-yo dieting forever. Ultimately, sustainable food programs are built within your own specific metabolic template.
I eat what Dr. G tells me to eat for my metabolic type. I don't call this program a diet because I eat more than on other programs.
Hello, welcome to another nutrition masterclass. So glad you've joined me today. Of course, my name is Savannah. I'm a nutritionist here at G Plans, and of course, every week on our nutrition masterclasses, we discuss a different topic, something related to nutrition, weight loss, health. So glad to see you here every week for these live classes. You can always, of course, feel free to go ahead and add any questions, comments, anything in the chat box throughout our presentation. So we're going to get started here in a second. Today's topic, we will be discussing how gut bacteria can actually affect your weight loss progress. So we're going to go over the how behind that, some things to look for that might show maybe your gut isn't in the best of health, and some tips to help you improve your gut health moving forward. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. All right, so today's topic is how can gut bacteria affect weight loss progress? Okay, so this is our overview for today. What we'll cover, first off, we're going to discuss an intro to the gut microbiome and how it's associated with weight loss. Next, we're going to talk specifically how can gut bacteria really influence weight loss. Next up, I'm going to ask you a question. I always like to ask a little bit from you. How is your gut health? And then we're going to go into some signs to look for that may show that your gut health is out of balance. Then we're going to finish up. We'll have some good tips to help you improve the health of your gut. And then we'll finish up with the tip of the week, and lastly, our special promotion. All right, and so here on the screen is my email. If you have a question, maybe you don't want to put it in the chat box today, feel free to also send me an email. My email address will also be added in the chat box for you today as well. All right, so the gut microbiome and weight loss. The human microbiome is an ecosystem of largely good bacteria and microbes that live on and in the human body. Our bodies are home to between 40 and 100 trillion microbes, according to current estimates. Most of these live in our intestine and make up what is known as our gut microbiome. Our gut microbiome is important for many reasons. Gut bacteria play a role in communicating with our immune system, producing certain vitamins, and can also affect how different foods are digested and produce certain chemicals that help you to feel full. This is part of the reason why your gut bacteria can influence your weight. Today we're going to be discussing more about the gut microbiome and how it can influence your weight loss progress. So, how can gut bacteria really influence weight loss? Two big factors here. Number one, they play a role and affect digestion. The bacteria in our guts affect how we digest various foods. Studies have shown that less diversity in your gut bacteria is linked with poor digestion and is associated with obesity. Your body produces various hormones that regulate your appetite, including leptin and ghrelin. Some studies have shown that gut bacteria, it can actually affect how much of these hormones are produced, which that can influence whether you feel hungry or full. Secondly here, the gut bacteria plays a role in inflammation. Inflammation occurs when our body activates the immune system to fight an infection. So in the short term, inflammation's totally fine, all good. When inflammation becomes more chronic though, this can cause health issues and definitely influence weight loss. Certain types of gut bacteria can cause inflammation and may contribute to weight gain. Other types of bacteria are also associated with decreased inflammation. Ultimately, there are some bacteria deemed more friendly and bacteria that's called more unfriendly as well. When our gut becomes too high in the unfriendly bacteria, this can cause some negative health outcomes and contribute to weight gain as well. So it's all a balancing game there. You're always going to have some of the unfriendly bacteria and you're going to have some of the friendly bacteria too. It's when things kind of get a little bit out of balance and the unfriendly bacteria there's more than the friendly kind. That's when you can start to have some digestion issues, other health issues, and it could impact your weight loss as well. So tell me at this time a little bit about you. How do you feel your gut health is right now? Is this something, do you feel like your microbiome, your gut health could use a boost? It could use a little work? Or is there anything you're doing maybe currently that you feel really helps you to keep your digestive health in check? I'd love to hear a little more from you. Feel free to add in the chat box there. Tell me a little bit about you. Okay, so these are a few signs that may indicate your gut health is a little out of balance. So this is not a conclusive list in any way, but these are some good big things to look for. First off, digestive difficulties. So if you're experiencing frequent digestive issues, that's a pretty clear sign that something is definitely out of balance. This could mean that your gut is having a hard time processing food and maybe a little bit too high in those unfriendly types of bacteria. Next up is food intolerances. Certain foods may be more difficult to digest if you have a suboptimal gut microbiome. If you have a hard time digesting certain foods, then you might be suffering from a food intolerance, and dysbiosis or an imbalance in your gut, this can further contribute to those symptoms. So mood changes as well. It was once thought that irritable bowel syndrome and other stomach ailments, they were caused by depression and anxiety. But more and more studies are showing today it's really the other way around. So an unbalanced gut microbiome can definitely lead to more feelings of depression, anxiety, and other changes in your mood. Associated with that a bit is also brain fog and fatigue. Over the last few years, the gut has been dubbed by scientists as the second brain. They haven't proven that the gut is actually able to think exactly like the brain, but scientists have shown there's a very relevant connection between the two. The more your gut microbiome might be out of balance, the more likely you are to experience conditions like brain fog and fatigue as well. And lastly here is cravings for sugar. So eating too much sugar, that can definitely cause too much of the bad bacteria in your gut to thrive. And high amounts of sugar are also linked to more inflammation in the body, and this puts you at risk for other diseases. So it can be kind of a cycle there. Of course, the more sugar in a whole, kind of those bad bacteria can feed off of that. And then the more you eat that, the more that bacteria can continue to grow and thrive too. Okay, so now that we went over that, here's a few good general tips to help you improve your gut health. First, consume probiotics, and that may be in a probiotic supplement and also in food items as well. Probiotics promote the growth of healthy bacteria in your gut, so again, helping with that balance. You can take these again in a supplement or from natural sources like yogurt, kefir, kombucha, and kimchi. Prioritize sleep and reduce stress. So we mentioned this a lot in some of our presentations in nutrition masterclasses. This is so important. Proper sleep helps to balance your hormones and prevent many scenarios that can negatively impact your digestive health, like stress or maybe eating a little too close to bedtime. Stress can negatively affect your gut health, so try spending a bit of time each day to unwind, take some deep breaths, and decompress. Mentioned this before. One thing you can do to kind of handle both of those things is really set a good evening routine to start unwinding before bed. Next is eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. Studies have shown that when you consume a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, this helps to diversify the type of bacteria in your gut. This is a good thing. So focus on switching up the fruits and veggies you eat rather than sticking to the same things. Lastly here, I said is have a routine. It sounds simple, but when you are eating at regular intervals, when you're eating at those regular times each day, incorporating exercise regularly, and even doing things like making sure you're staying hydrated, all of these things really add up and can all help to benefit your gut health. So again, that sounds a little funny too, but seriously, even eating at those regular times, the same times a day, and eating periodically through the day in smaller amounts, this is really going to help aid your digestion. All right, and so my tip of the week for today is all centered around digestion as well. First off, this is kind of focused on what we call more mindful eating. Mindful eating has been shown to really help us connect with feelings of fullness, our hunger cues, and also just help us to improve our relationship with food. And when we're slowing down, we're eating, chewing more slowly, more thoroughly, this all can help our digestion. First is minimize distractions while eating as best you can. Focus on eliminating multitasking while you're eating. When we do get distracted, we can become disconnected from those fullness cues, and this can cause us to eat a larger portion. Next is eat a little more slowly. Chewing thoroughly and eating more slowly helps your body to fully digest the food and increase nutrient absorption. This will also help you to notice those feelings of fullness and improve your overall relationship with food. So again, I know this can be tough too. We have a lot going on, but do the best you can to kind of slow down, eat more slowly, kind of minimize the distractions while you're eating. Okay, and the last thing for today is our special promotion for the week, and it's all based around today's topic. So like I mentioned, probiotics are extremely important for overall gut health. And we do have a great probiotic supplement here at G Plans. It's called our Probiome Max. We're offering 40% off of that today. So that's a really, really good discount. And you can take advantage of that by looking in your email after today's call. So definitely check that out. Again, great way to benefit your gut health, and a good deal today too. All right, so this does bring me to the end of today's presentation. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and add those to the chat box at this time. All right. Okay, see some good questions here. Okay, all right. All right, Barb said yogurt helps balance for her. That's awesome. Again, yogurt is a great probiotic food to add in. That can, of course, you have to be able to handle dairy to do that, but there are definitely other great foods like I mentioned today, like kimchi would be a good food to add in. That is a probiotic food without having dairy as well. Jennifer, awesome. Jennifer says probiotics were a game changer. Absolutely. Oh, that's a great one. Maria says green bananas seriously have mitigated my IBS. That is awesome. So more green bananas, they have something in them called resistant starch. So really good source of fiber. And yeah, bananas are a great food to include, and a good kind of prebiotic for your gut as well. Teresa says, again, yeah, she said finds some trouble with yogurt and dairy. It affects her system. So yeah, for you, Teresa, again, it's good you know that. Good you're aware of that, and might be better for you to avoid dairy products. Like I mentioned today, you might want to look at other probiotic foods you could add in, or take a probiotic supplement too. All right. Barb said, IBS green bananas, is that for, that's a good question. Barb, I would say that could definitely depend on you individually too. I always like to mention that having a food journal and paying attention to how you respond to various foods is very important, because of course not everything is one size fits all. So you might want to try that for you, see how your body responds to that, and go from there. All right. Eddie says, my gut health could use some work. Tried probiotics and similar products, and it doesn't seem to help. Eddie, hope some of the tips we went over today, some of those big picture tips we went over to improve your digestion, I would suggest to start there. But of course too, there's a lot of things that go into gut health and digestion. So sometimes it can take a little finer tuned look as well. Feel free to send me an email. We could definitely talk a little further. And it might work good for you as well to maybe work with a nutritionist one-on-one and take a deeper look at things as well. All right. All right. Very good questions today. Let's see. Eddie had some questions about G plans too. Yeah, feel free, Eddie. Go ahead and send me an email. We can definitely talk about that. Okay, and then Jennifer's also saying here that haven't seen a lot of initial weight loss getting started. And you're eating a lot more food than you were beforehand. Okay, totally. So thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. That can happen sometimes. Again, what you just mentioned to me is that you weren't eating as much before you started the plan. So there is a possibility, if you weren't eating as consistently enough, if you were eating a little bit under what you needed for a while, as you begin plan, it can take a little bit of time for your metabolism to kind of adjust and start speeding up again. So stay consistent with it. Keep it going, really focusing on building those healthy habits, building a routine that's sustainable for you. That's what's so key. So focus on that, and also remember, take those measurements, because sometimes too you may notice changes in those measurements first before you see more weight drop on the scale as well. All right. And then Candy said here too, she's found some dairy alternatives like almond, coconut, and oat milk yogurts help her a ton. Awesome. And you will see those on our plan too. We do minimize dairy because a lot of people do have some sensitivities and it can cause inflammation. But if you find you do tolerate dairy well, again, yogurt, kefir, some really good probiotic foods you can add in. All right. Wow. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this was a helpful topic. Feel free to. So if you have a question I didn't get to, you can always send me an email. So my email is there in the chat box. And if you want to rewatch this, you can always do that later on. After this presentation ends today, it will be saved on this YouTube page, so you can go back to it. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and hope to see you again next week. Again, we're here every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with a new nutrition masterclass. All right. Have a good one.